All right. Thank you. Thank you for choosing Anthony Restoration. Just wanted to get your feelings on first night, what happened, and how you felt, and how do you feel now about our company?
Well, the first night, I was very stressed. I mean, we came home and literally within like 5 to 6 minutes, water was leaking down through the lights. I started to panic, didn't know what to do. Next thing you know, literally we shut off with the issue, and then the toilet, which was leaking, which was crazy. And then literally started calling people and finally got in touch with you.
Was anybody else available?
Well, there was somebody else available. Roto-Rooter was available,
Oh.
but they weren't going to come out till the next day.
Oh, okay.
And everything, all my friends told me is like, hey, you guys got to get this fixed tonight.
Hmm.
Make sure you get the leak fixed.
Okay.
So luckily, they actually gave us your name.
Oh,
And then I called you, and I think you got here, what time?
oh, it's like 11 or something like that.
Yeah, so then
10 or
you
11
got.
o'clock.
And
So what do we do that first night? And
so you showed me where all the leaks were, which was ridiculous because the house was dark, and I actually was pretty amazed by this because I had turned off all the lights on this floor because it was leaking.
Yeah.
And without even turning on the lights, Brian knew exactly where the leaks were because he had those cameras and all his tools. He knew exactly where everything was. So before the lights were even on, he knew where the leaks were, which lights where the leaks were. And then when we went up to the next floor, he already knew where the leaks were. And that was pretty amazing just for the fact that he didn't see anything. It was dark in here. He just got on. That was pretty awesome about Brian. And then after that, he told me what we needed to do, which...
How hard was the trust?
And it was super hard, I'm not gonna lie. Guys, like, this is the one thing you do not want to go through, and when you do go through it, all normal thinking is, even though you have insurance, you should be covered, you don't think about any of that. You're just scared that something's gonna fall through, and I was with Brian. Honestly, it was actually kind of tense for a good amount of time because I'm literally trying to figure out if we're covered, and Brian's like, we need to do this right now. And I didn't want to say yes because I didn't have the insurance guy to say yes. I was like 9:45 at night. But Brian was like, hey, don't worry about it. You're just gonna, literally, we're gonna do this one part, then you call insurance in the morning, but if I don't stop this leak now, it's gonna get worse. So Brian, we signed the contract, and like Brian said in the morning, called insurance, and insurance said we were covered. Mm-hmm. And then Brian was like, do you feel comfortable? And I was like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Now
I did
go
ask.
ahead.
Yeah, I was like, oh, are you sure?
And then literally, but by the way, going back to the first night, after signing, Brian was here until about 1:45.
Yeah.
He had no staff with him, nobody else. He brought up all these heavy fans. I didn't help for crap. I was sitting in the corner with my wife, and he set up everything, and he visualized it, made his air room, put all the fans up in the right spots. And so that night, he left at 1:45, and the next morning's the whole insurance thing, which was amazing to find out we were covered. Then Brian gave us the idea. He was like, hey, it's going to be going on for a good amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
You guys may want to stay in a hotel. And honestly, I have a daughter, a young kid, and my wife is pregnant. It was actually the best idea. Brian and his team worked while we were out, got back today. It's 1 week, what you said?
Yeah, about 1 week. Yeah.
About what you said,
4
exactly.
to 6 days, 1 week, just depends.
Well, from the fans turning on.
Yeah, it's about that way.
Yeah, it's about one week.
Uh-huh.
And today, everything's dry by the grace of Brian.
Well, and Anthony Restoration, the whole team.
Anthony
I had
and
a
his
whole
whole
team
team.
here, yeah.
Like,
Thank you.
everyone on Brian's team is awesome, by the way.
What about cleanliness? Did we clean up when we were done?
Oh, I was actually surprised. So this isn't actually acting. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I'm not being fake at all. I'm one of those straight shooters. I was really nervous. I told my wife, I was like, hey, I don't know if we should actually not check out of the hotel tonight because the place is massively dirty. Before Brian came, when you're walking through the little airtight areas, there's so much dust, and due to the holes, it was really disgusting. So when Brian said he was going to come and his team said he was going to come, I didn't know they were going to clean. And then I came downstairs and literally they swept, they wiped. It's like now literally I'm not worried to bring
It doesn't
my
even look
2-year-old
like
daughter
you're
home.
here.
Yeah, it actually doesn't.
Other than
the mess.
Other than the holes right here.
Other than the holes.
But only 2 holes
Yes.
in 3 floors.
In 3 floors.
We saved almost everything minus a little bit of flooring upstairs and 2 cuts here.
Yeah, just it's the best case scenario is basically what happened. But Brian told me that night is if you want the best case scenario, you had to move, and that was the thing that was hardest for me was to make that decision. And now thinking about it, I should have just been like, okay, it's fine, just do it. Insurance is going to cover it, but remind you it's my first time and everything like that. But I just recommend you guys
Thank you.
just to trust Brian and Anthony Restoration and this whole
I
team.
appreciate it.
They're going to do the right thing. Even if you're nervous and if you're scared, watch my video and be like, hey, he was petrified, and I was, no joke, petrified, but it worked. And he saved us a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of other just headaches. It's a new house. So thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much. And you can use your home now. You
Yeah.
can even use your shower upstairs.
I
if
know,
you like
that's,
to.
it's pretty awesome. So
And your
I'm just
laundry.
excited.
Remember, your washer and dryer is hooked up too.
Yeah, and by the way, they moved it out and then moved it back in too, so that's pretty cool because I have a bad back, and so Brian and his team moved it back in, hooked it back up for me, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And he told me some other things to like, I actually asked a couple questions like, hey, how do you think about flood monitoring? You know,
Oh, sensors.
sensors,
Yeah, yeah.
with some sensors, and he
Yeah.
gave me his honest opinion. I actually now would trust him over anybody else because this is what he does. So just to let you know, Brian and Anthony Restoration, really good company, and they actually care about their customers. Even though you're nervous, just realize that he's not going to do the wrong thing. He's going to do the right thing. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Oh, that was